Hello, welcome to Tips and Tricks. Today we're going to talk about the needs of the pawn. We've got a few other tabs down here. Log is what's happening to them. If they've done something, it'll show up in here. This is the gear, the stuff they wear. Social is how they interact with your other colonies, your other pawns in your colony. So if the raid don't like someone, then it'll show up in here. That, I really don't like this person. It could be friend, acquaintance, lover, marriage. It could even be rival or anything like that. Bio we've already talked about on the picking of your pawn. Health is what's wrong with them at the moment. Rissa is suffering from crypto sickness sleep. So our consciousness is lowered, the moving's a bit less, and the manipulation's a bit lower, as you can see here. Talking and eating is also bad. Oh, I must have cryo sickness then. Whereas that, full of health and full health. If they get wounded, it'll show up in here, and then you'll be able to look at how bad the wounds are. If it's a bandage or it's a cut, you can flip them down to herbal medicine, so you're not using your best medicine for a cut they've got, or or a thorn that they've picked up, or they stub the toe, using Glitterworld medicine to repair your stub on your toe. So needs. What needs do they have? They have food, mood, rest, recreation. That's your four main needs. You then have how beautiful it is around, how much comfort they have, and whether they're outdoors or indoors. Now down here under traits, you can get somebody who's an undergrounder and they're going to hate being outdoors. They would be much further prefer to be indoors than out. So let's talk about food. Food is what they can eat, which at the moment is packaged survival meals. Once they get this planted and cooked, they can eat other meals, or they can eat some of this raw. Like the corn is not too bad to be eaten raw, you can't eat that. Rice gives you bad stomachs. Strawberries, you can get food poisoning from berries, unfortunately. I've never had food poisoning from berries, and I've got my own allotment, so that's food is what they've eaten. If it gets down here, they start getting grumpy, and if it gets right to the bottom, they'll have a break and they'll go find anything to eat. Sometimes it could even be a corpse. So as long as you keep remembering to give them food on a regular basis, they'll be fairly happy. And as it says there, food is the amount of nutrition a creature has consumed recently. If it is at zero, a creature will become increasingly malnourished and eventually die. And they'll also have maybe a temper tantrum and go start smashing things up because they're hungry. And they can hit anything, including your animals, other colonists, or things that explode. They seem to gravitate towards things that explode a lot. Now the mood, as it sees here, mood represents how happy or stressed someone is. If mood gets too low, the person may suffer a mental break, depending on how low his mood is, or how low their mood is. Someone who has a mental break may have a minor break, like hiding in his room for a day, or a major break, like going on a murder spree. So once again, that could be tied in with your food. They've got no food, I'm going to go kill somebody and eat them. And there's the thresholds of 35, which is this first marker here. That's a minor break. Your major break is down at 20%, and your extreme break is down at 5. If they hit that, they are going to go, as it says, on a mental breakdown or a temper tantrum, or just try to kill somebody or something. It could even be that they might go punch a lion. Or in the series that's already running for me, one of them went and punched a griffin. After he beat up a stag and a doe, he then went and punched a griffin. So not too bright when they get down here. Rest is how much sleep the person's had, or the creature's had. 0, they'll tend to just fall over on the spot and they'll get a debuff. The best thing to do, even if you just whack them up instantly as soon as you notice they've gone down, they'll still get a debuff of, I slept on the floor, I think it's a -5. So rest is really important unless the building's burning down around your ears and you need to put the fire out. Try not push them to no rest, because if somebody's here trying to put a fire out and you still have a fight up here and you don't notice he's gone to sleep, he could end up burning in the building. And I've actually had a pawn do that because he's been so tired he's just collapsed asleep and then he's caught fire, and because he wasn't putting the fire out to get out the door, everywhere close to the door were on fire, so he ended up burning, which was bad. And obviously if they get full rest they're totally fine, they can do anything they want. Recreation is another one of them, like mood, that has its big downside effects, but it has up effects as well. If they get up to these 2 markers up here, they become really happy and they get extra little bonuses to themselves. So let's read it. Recreation is a need to have fun. Repeating the same kind of activity makes it less fun, so variety is necessary. Talking to a YouTuber, so At current expectations, extremely low. Each tolerance falls by 18% per day while you're awake. Having 2 recreation types is recommended until you get bored of them and you need a 3rd and then a 4th, and so on and so on. So always have some sort of recreation around. They will eventually get bored of it and they'll start lowering the recreation down. They won't get as much joy out of it, so it'll be harder to gain recreation up to full. Beauty reflects how much visually pleasing a person has found their surroundings, including people, trees. There is a downside to that, and that is ugly things, which used to be bricks and things like that. This is the toggle beauty, and if we have a look around him, see all the ones, but then you go, hold on, that's red there. Why is that red? Because that's an ugly bit of steel. Components are ugly, medicine's ugly, it's laying on the floor. Now some stones are okay, there's no modifier, where others are ugly. Why is that ugly there? Well, do you see this coloured smaller little white dot stuff? That's dirt, and there's dirt under that block, and that's what's causing the -4 modifier. It's dirt under there is causing that to be ugly. As we come down, look, a bit of dirt here. Now there is some like this bigger looking block here, but it's not a centre square, whereas that is. So that's not going to give any ugliness. Once again, the dirt, what we like over here, that's -1 because it's bare rock. If you smooth it, it'll give a, I think it might actually give a +1 to beauty. Same with the walls, they're ugly, they're just rough stone cut walls. How dare you? Yet these walls, they're just, well, there's nothing in with them, and that's because they're limestone. If they were marble, they'd have a beauty value, but they don't. And the tile underneath here, that doesn't have a beauty value, and it doesn't have a negative either. So that's something you consider, right? If there's loads of blood, right, let's say we're down here, we've got us barricades across here, people are coming in, they'll but shooting them with blood everywhere, so that'll make the area more uglier and uglier. And if you've got a corpse out here, it'll be really ugly, because they don't like corpses unless you're a bloodlust and things like that. Then they don't really care whether there's a corpse that can walk past it, and they won't give a hoot. So that's beauty. It can affect the moods, especially if if they're down here defending, and you can have some battles where they're here for quite some time, and the mood, that need, is just going to sink like a rock. Ugh. And that's going to upset them, and that's going to affect the mood and other stuff. Comfort is gained by sitting or sleeping or comfortable furniture. It's acquired while laying in bed, sitting on a chair while working, and other times. So if you've got a workbench and you ain't got a chair, they're not going to get any comfort from it. That's how it used to be. Now you can put a chair down and they'll get a bit of comfort because they sat down instead of stood up. Once again, outdoors is how much they need to be outside. When you get to building your mountain base and you're in the mountain, that is going to sink, and they're going to get up, I think it's up to a -7 or a 9 because they haven't been outside. So some sort of recreation outside would be good, even if it's a horseshoe pin. Say that's his entrance. Horseshoe pin there, they'll come out, they'll play the horseshoes, and they'll get their outdoor need because they'll be outdoors doing something. Now it won't matter too much for your planters and growers if you've got growing fields outside, because they'll come out to do planting, they'll get outside. But anybody that doesn't come out, like your crafters, they'll need something outside to come outside to. If the stone cutting inside, it's fine because they'll come out, collect a piece of stone, and while they're outside they'll get that outside feeling again, and that'll be sorted for that. And then apart from effects that'll happen during a game, like high psychic drones, that'll tend the moods down, which will affect the food, the rest, recreation and everything else, and that'll get them down in moods, and of course that'll send them off on a break. And there is the psychic soothe, which will make everybody feel happier, so they'll go around doing happier things. Health also impacts on your mood. If we have a look, there's no health conditions on them two, but because of that, let's have a look in your needs. You're sick, so she's got a -5. As soon as that cryo sleep sickness goes away, which will be in about an hour game time, maybe 2 in game time hours, which is here, that's your 8 hour there. And there's a lot of information in this bit. And like I say, you get 15 days per quadrant, and there's your 4 quadrants: spring, summer, fall and winter. We are in winter now, and yes, we can plant because it's a year-round growing periods, and the growing season's here now. That's it. Cold can impact to that side, so obviously Rissa is feeling ill because she's got that, so that's a -8 to the mood bar. She's more positive than negative, so if she then gets like a scar, that's can be up to a -10 depending on how bad and where. So that's the -10 will take that out, and then you're only left with 25 mood because they're sick, and let's say a couple of scars. These can soon cancel each other out over a short period of time. So that's basic needs for your pawn. They need somewhere to sleep, as it says down here. Need somewhere to sleep, and we also need a pen. This, I'm not keen on this. You used to be able to put them in a zone, and you'd be able to go, right, this is going to be the zone for donkeys, this is going to be the zone for by Buffalo because it's closer to my storage. Now you have to build an actual pen or they will wander off. They'll just leave the colony and go wild. And I don't know why it got put in. It's a stupid thing, to be honest. So that's touching upon the needs. We'll obviously see that as we progress. So thank you for watching.